Welcome back. We are here again for another very exciting edition of what is the show called? Redemption Radio. Uh, we've survived. Okay, you and I didn't.
No, we didn't. What are you talking about?
The league has survived the regular season, and we are on to the playoffs. Joined by Nexus. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me once again.
Of
How are you
course,
doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Yeah, like I said, we are now past the regular season and into the playoffs. So I think we should take a look at the standings and the seedings and where everybody is, and then talk a little bit about week 4 and look ahead to the playoff season. Thank you, Christian. I think maybe you're confused by which one of us is one of those, but anyway, it's all good. Um, Ending up with the first seed is DR. Okay, let me say like the 1 and 2 seed very close, only separated by 1 point. And third and fourth actually have the same amount of points. So that was that decided by tiebreaker, or was that a
So I'm looking at
flags
SWL
capture?
versus SP.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, that would come down to a tiebreaker. So
Okay.
let's even have a look at the schedule. I'm so forgetful. Yeah, they played each other week 3, and SWL
Gotcha.
took. So they SWL took the head-to-head versus SP.
Gotcha. Okay, so first dice rollers. They ended up with 15 points, 3 wins, 1 loss. Second was Tortoise Rush TR. Again, 3 wins, 1 loss. So very close there. It was just a matter of looking like rounds. The rounds played were the same, but somewhere along the line, maybe TR's 1 loss was a 2-round loss. And then we've got third seed, as we mentioned, was saddled with Legion, SWL. They got the tiebreaker over the 4th seed SP Skiing Professionals. Both of those teams ended up with 10 points. And rounding out the rest of the teams, 5th was the Sexual Bodyguards, and 6th was SWAT, Stupid Wiz. Oh, and Team.
And
Stupid
team.
Wiz
And team.
Yes, very important. We make that distinction. So, pretty exciting regular season overall. Before we talk about the week 4 games, what's your take on the regular season and how it unfolded and the maps and as a commissioner, I'm sure it's always I know it's always fun to get to this point where there's way less games to schedule and less headaches.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's nice. No, even though obviously not the result we wanted, but I thought this season, and even just looking at the end standings from this regular season, I thought it was probably one of the best seasons I've played in terms of how close it was, sort of the plays and the skill level that was sort of brought to the table. I feel like every season kind of players in general sort of boost up a little bit in skill level, but I think we've seen a lot of guys really step up this season. None of these teams, except for I guess there's a little bit of disparity in points with SWAT, we're far off from each other. Like if you look at 3rd place, 4th place, and 5th place, they all have 2 wins, 2 losses. Like none of these guys were really running away with it. Even 1st place has a loss, 2nd place has a loss. So yeah, I think honestly that's pretty rare to see nowadays in actual seasons. There's usually 1 or 2 teams that really kind of run away with it. You kind of see it instantly from the draft as like some gross $28 pick, and then they get some free agent who shouldn't be in that position at all, and they kind of just run away with it. But this season was not like that at all. All of these teams are super close, and I think we're going to have a pretty nice 4-way battle in the semifinals going.
yeah, I'm excited for that. I think, like you said, I noticed it all season. Really, the games were certainly some of them were 2-0 games, but I felt like even in practice, just the level of competition was very similar. And you could have walked into a game, whether you were watching or playing it, going, I wouldn't be surprised if this team won, or I wouldn't be surprised if that team won. So that's
Exactly.
always it's a cool thing to have. And even SWAT, like they were eliminated after week 3 and they fought in the last game and tried to win, so it's not like they gave up or anything.
Also, with those guys, I don't think they had a 2-round loss until the last week. At which point, who's really
Yeah,
trying,
it's
right?
true.
So they never, even though they, you look at the scoreboard and you're like, oh, okay, that was the weakest team. I don't think they were necessarily. I think if a couple things went different, someone woke up on a different side of the bed, someone put a little bit more effort in, whatever it was, like that team could easily be in the playoffs right now. But just with the way it went, how close the season was, that's not how it went. I mean, we'll get to our game later. That's how I felt with our team as well. But yeah, no, there was
Yeah,
someone in this who was like, okay, yeah, they're out for sure. But
yeah, true, very true. So we wrapped everything up with a map that everybody's played a million times, map four. Um, and I know you said we'll talk about our game later, but I'd really like to talk about it getting out of the way now.
let's do it.
So that we okay. So would you like to discuss our game
Yeah,
and
man.
how you felt that that went?
Yeah, so it was a really important match for us. DR really brought it. I'd like to start what I want to say, but just saying DR just killed it. They had like amazing plays. I think during the game it felt as if we were kind of playing a bit standard, and DR almost felt like, whether it was true or not, almost felt like they had set plays going on, especially with the way Amar was going in and using kind of chain as a distraction, and they were both coming in at once. Like they just had it really, really dialed, and they actually had it just to the point where I felt like we couldn't do much, to be honest. Yeah, like I said, it was a really important match for us in terms of needing to win in order to make the playoffs, and very disappointing that we didn't. I don't know. I feel it could have gone a couple different ways. It wasn't a close game, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, yeah, if only this happened, that would have worked. But yeah, I think we got outplayed this week. And yeah, two round losses in a row just equals us being in fifth place, which is hard, definitely. But even looking back in the earlier season, it's like we didn't have any super, super strong wins. And so whilst we felt like we had a lot of potential and we were very strong, I didn't at any point feel super, super confident. I think a lot of that comes into just how little we were able to practice, especially into week 4. Like I was gone. I was, on a trip doing doing work and stuff on my motorcycle, and salt mine's just not there until like, maybe we'll get him for 45 minutes on a Saturday, and then he's there game day. Like it just didn't really end up being a recipe for success. And it's a learning experience for sure. I could have probably made a couple better calls as a captain, but I had fun. I thought it was a really, really good season. I really like everyone who was on my team, and that's all I can really ask for.
Yeah, yeah, I had fun too. It sucks to lose, but like I've been on teams where we've done really well, but then we just argue all season, and it's like it's like it ends up being not that fun.
Exactly. Yeah.
So then like it's great when you have the combination of both, where you're winning and you like the people and you have fun, but it's not always the case. So it's nice.
It's hard to have that balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to have a team like that. So I really did have fun. Yeah, it sucks. I felt like at least in the round that I played in, there were just a couple things that happened. Like I don't know, a couple of returns that we didn't get maybe, and just
Yeah.
a couple, like things. Yeah, we were definitely outplayed for sure. But it didn't feel like, I don't know. It just felt like situational. Like we could have maybe made a few different choices, and maybe it would have gone differently. Who knows? But um, yeah, I don't know.
It's a hard one. Yeah. I felt like there was
and yeah,
definitely a couple different calls I could have made as a captain. And also just sort of, I don't know, I wasn't feeling the cohesion of the team. I think a lot of that comes down to lack of practice, which is tough, and there's not much we could have done about that.
probably
And I
in the
think,
last week. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, exactly. I think even if we let's say we won that match and we made it off to semifinals now, I think we'd still have a bit of an uphill battle in terms of getting past that, maybe a little bit of lack of cohesion in terms of what we were doing positionally. But I had fun, and for a lot of the time, like week 1, week 2, it did work, but only barely.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I will say also, like I think Dragon said something about this in the chat too, but Sharp wasn't available this week, and
Mhm.
Chain hadn't played at all season, and he Dragon said, say what you want about Chain, whatever that means, but whenever he has to play, which he has done in a couple different leagues now, where he's kind of like here's a guy who was a captain for a long time and then was around a lot and really has not been around all too much. But as long as you play every so often, like you don't lose everything completely. He's been able to come in like as a fourth on a couple teams, or just I don't really like even using fourth anymore because I feel like every team is so good now that you don't really have a fourth.
Yeah.
But he's been able to like jump in when he's not starting a game, and whether it's for an entire match or a one round or whatever, and just do an amazing job. Like, to come in cold like that is just, it was nice to see. It's nice to see like there is an example of a team that is very cohesive and is working really well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they have their positions down, and so Chain was great. Amar is always great. So like, don't think I'm not complimenting you, but you get enough compliments probably. And then Vinny, I was really impressed with Vinny's defense on that map.
Yeah, Vinny killed it.
Yeah, really good. So and all of those guys, like, they're all just nice guys. So how would you be mad at I don't know. I was happy. I'm happy for them that they are the first seed, because I feel like, I don't know. I mean, when you start off the season, they had a player removed off their roster for a league abandonment, and then they just pick up Chain from free agency. And so look how this plays out. Chain gets picked up in free agency, boom, gets dropped into a game in week 4, plays really well, and now they have the first seed. So couldn't really be working out any better for DR.
Yeah, no, really happy for those guys, and I'm kind of rooting for them in the playoffs. Actually, I thought if they can bring what they brought against us, I think they got a really good chance.
Yeah, they're like the first seed underdog, if that's a thing that could
That's
exist.
somehow a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So thanks for a good season. I had fun, and looking forward to playing again. This was the first time I got to play in Redemption, so
Hell yeah.
don't wait another year or whatever.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Me too. I can be annoying. Okay, so SP versus SWAT. As I mentioned, SWAT was really just playing for, to finish out the season, and not really for the playoffs. But, I think, what can you say? Like, Stal is a ridiculous defender. I mean, it was hard for him. I feel like, SWAT had a couple chances where, excuse me, maybe they were not. They were just kind of leaving Stahl out there to handle it, and trust me, I think Stahl can handle it, but at the same time, like, eventually the dam's going to break. So it felt like that did happen whenever they got scored on, and their offense just wasn't there. Like, the to keep going back to the word cohesion, like Wiz and Dranzer all season were never really able to get that down as mid and O. Stahl can hold it down for as long as possible, but I just don't think they had the teamwork going. And SP playing really well. I mean, they played themselves. They had a couple, misses throughout the season where they lost a game or two games really. So to come in, like, this was a really important game for them too. Like, I believe if we had won our game in 2, they would not have made the playoffs. So I think they went into this game with like that mindset: if we have to win, no matter what. So they definitely played like it, and like Lang getting 101 frags and in one of the rounds, and then it's just like Disparel and Lang both over 80 frags in round 2. Like, what are you supposed to do there?
I don't know. It's a tough one. Well, from what I saw from this game, it was kind of the result we expected, really. Like, who's to expect SWAT to just like really, really rally and try super hard if there's not much at the at the end of the tunnel for them to win there. So kind of the result I expected, although still a little bit unfortunate, especially for us. It would have been sweet if SWAT won, but that's fine.
Would have been helpful.
Yeah, it would have definitely been helpful. No, I saw kind of Wiz and Dranzer also just I felt like they were really just pushing the offensive pressure, kind of like you were saying, and they sort of left Stahl high and dry a little bit, which again I don't think is the play on map 4. Like, I feel like you can get away with playing a little bit more defensive on map 4 as opposed to other maps. Like, you can kind of just really force the enemy team to just start making dumb plays, push up way too hard, and then you might get an opportunity. But
you know what that's called, right?
The SXP strat.
Yes, and everybody shits on it.
Everyone shits on it. I think map 4 is
the map
where you can do it, and especially from SWAT situation where it's like, what do you have to lose? That's what I would have tried if I was SWAT. But at the same time, like, I don't know if they even cared. Like I know they had a little bit of an issue with Dranzer sort of perhaps putting in a full effort all season. If that
Really?
was true, then I guarantee that was an issue week 4 when it didn't matter anymore. So
Yeah. Hey,
at
at least he showed up. You know, I was
least he
glad to
showed
see
up.
that
Yeah,
he showed
props
up
to
for the
him.
game. You know,
Yeah,
I know it's not easy. I've played in those like lame duck games many times. It's
yeah.
not
It's like,
fun.
why am I even here, guys? What's going on?
Right.
But
Right.
no, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, still a good effort. I thought SP played really good. I think even if SWAT maybe did try something different, it still would have been really, really difficult. And I'm not sure if they could have pulled it out. So yeah, congrats to SP for making it to playoffs. They're probably a little bit worried there for a little bit, but I'm excited to see what they can do in semifinals here. And yeah, I wish them best of luck.
Yeah. Yeah. And then to me, like I think I circled this game as kind of the game of the week during last radio as a
Yeah,
possibility, and I think it ended up. I mean, it did end up being based on the results of the other games, the best game of the week, TR and SWL. So a good old fashioned 4 rounder on map 4. Wrist splitter here. So it was a tie in round 1. I felt like, yeah, like it's one of those round ones where you're playing a lot more defensively. I mean, Ninja Dog was some sort of like mind shattering, like 118 frags, you know, like what the fuck. Poto gets 103 frags. So they were definitely like playing very fraggy in that one. And that's not to say that the 100 frag thing didn't stop, but because that really continued in round 2. But, you know, TR was able to get a few more flags out. And I think if my memory serves correct, it was 2-1 for quite a while in that round, or maybe towards the end. And there was a possibility that SWL would tie it up, but then TR
yeah,
ended up scoring and going up 3-1. So they broke the tie and took that one in round 2. And then round 3, you know, SWL makes some adjustments. And I mean, how do you consistently get 117 frags again in round 3? I don't know. Like,
trigger bot, aimbot. No, no,
it's
no.
insanity. It's
He's yeah,
insane.
he's
Like,
kind of in a league of his own in terms of being able to frag Ninja Dog.
well, like I know this about myself, and I could admit it. I think like fragging wise, I can be somewhat inconsistent. Like, I did 114 frags one time on map 31 in a WDL game, and then the next round I might have got like 75. I mean, we won, but like, you know, it's just like I don't know how
That's
you
some
do.
consistency.
Yeah, well, you know, 75 is still more than what other people were getting, but like fine. But like it's like it's crazy to me that you can get 100 and that many. It's great. It's awesome. And so SWL turns it around and they win round 3. So now it's, you know, whoever wins round 4, barring a tie, wins the match. And TR just busted the doors open and really figured it out in round 4. So it was a really good match to watch. I enjoyed it. I think it's uh, well, is it a playoff matchup now? I can't. Let me see if
It
they play each other.
is. It is.
It is right.
They're
So it
right
was.
back at it. Yeah.
It's cool. It was a preview of the playoff game, which we'll get into. But yeah, I thought that was a really good game. It was cool to see teams go back and forth and kind of like adjust to what the other team was doing. And you know, TR managed to figure it out and sneak out of there with a win.
Yeah. No, it was a good one to watch. I think kind of harping back to what I said last week on the radio, if anyone caught that, I think this is sort of a showcase of the duality between like offensive pressure and defensive pressure. I thought, you know, with Ninja Dog obviously doing ridiculous frag counts every single match, SWL sort of had that defensive strength, perhaps a little bit more than TR had on some occasions. But then TR also had generally much stronger offense, just with Tiger and Poto also making runs. I think Poto was playing D for a lot of this, so kind of negate that fact a little bit. But Mers is also really really good. Yeah, and we saw a little bit of a back and forth. I think this is shaping up to be a really, really good semifinals matchup between these two teams, which I'm excited to see. But yeah, SWL put in a crazy effort here, stretching it all the way to 4 rounds. I thought TR perhaps was a little bit of a favorite going into this one. Like I was saying last week, defensive pressure can kind of win on map 4, but my heart's telling me TR is going to win this, and they did end up getting it, but SWL didn't make it easy, and I think that goes to show that really going into the semifinals match, especially now the teams sort of have the maps of their choice, and it's not just whatever they have to play. It could lead to some interesting back and forths once again, where SWLs can be super comfortable in their home field, and then TR is gonna bring the pressure back on theirs. So yeah, I honestly could see like a disgustingly long like 10-round playoff match between these two, which would be fun to see. Wiz says it's easy when you're an emotionless robot. Yeah, I mean Ninja Dog, he's a man of few words. You gotta respect it. I think he positions himself in a way that really just forces enemy players to kind of die, if that makes sense. Like he I feel like it's a very conscious effort that he's going for these high frag counts. Maybe
Definitely.
it's not. If it's not, then that's crazy. But I feel the way he positions himself, and I've seen it even when he plays mid. Sometimes it's like, oh, this guy's playing team deathmatch. Oh wait, no, there he goes. There he's going for a flag now. But yeah, he's Ninja Dog's in a league of his own with frags, like I said earlier.
I mean, the way that I play, I think I've watched him too. Is like I let somebody put themselves in my shot. Like I'm, so that especially when I'm defending, I think that's to me that's always worked out really well. Is like I feel like people are like if somebody's running towards you, they're not going to stop running towards you. They're just so it's like you don't always have to. I feel like I see a lot of that in him too, where he's kind of he's letting the person place themselves in his shot, and his shot is just ridiculously good. Yeah, so I thought that was
Jesus.
just, yes,
Some trash talking, trash talk central over here.
Yep. He's a good guy, but maybe he's a creep. I don't know. Does anybody really know? But yeah. Anyway, really good match, and I guess we'll talk about the playoff match shortly. But yeah, that rounds out the regular season. And before we do that, though, before we talk about the playoffs, how about this exhibition league and the fact that both teams are tied with 10 points? And it's very interesting because the team that is currently in first has two, unless this like standings is wrong, but the team that's no. Okay, so help me understand.
I will help
you. The team that's in first that has two losses. You just help.
Because I say so. No, because I say so.
That's fine.
Pretty much. No, essentially what we were doing is that final map of the week. Actually, you know what? I did mess up on the wins and losses. But no, basically the final match this week 4 was the end of the season, and so we made that the tiebreaker because these teams are so close. So that was the head-to-head, and honestly, it doesn't give too much of an advantage. They got to pick their home field first, and then, but by all means, they are essentially tied. But IFS with Axe and those guys, they got the tiebreaker on that one, and they picked, I believe, IFS picked map 13 Caribbean Catastrophe, and then FF. With Beast and Killer and DJB, Wildman, all those guys, Karakurt, they picked map 8, which is going to be interesting to see. So
yeah,
it's a classic pick. I'm interested to see what their plans are. Interesting is a word. I'm sure they've probably got some rocket jump strategies up their sleeve, which they're hoping IFS can't match. Which we'll see if that comes into fruition.
Yeah, yes, we will. I just think it's been so fun to watch all season, and to watch it. Like I'm excited to see when they actually play their match here. So just so I understand, because there's two teams, right? Is this match going to be the finals, or is it?
It is, yeah. So it's straight into finals. If we had 4 teams, we'd do semifinals. But just because, I don't even know how we would do semifinals with 2 teams. We just make them play over and over. So this is straight into finals. Right. So the exhibition is going to end up being 1 week shorter than the standard league, but that's really only just down to there being 2 teams.
Yeah. No, it's super cool. Really exciting. And these guys have been practicing more than the people in the main league. Like it's like every day I get highlighted for them to practice, which is very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome. I know I've seen these guys even just in the season really grow in skill where it's like, okay, I'm not sure what you guys are doing positionally here, guys. I think we need to work on this in week 1. And then all of a sudden I mean, I was just practicing with them yesterday. They're coming out with some crazy runs and some plays, and they've really got it down. So it's good to see. Honestly,
Yeah,
they've been given some decent lineups actually a run for their money, which is awesome to see.
yeah, very cool, very cool. So looking forward to seeing that when that gets scheduled. I don't think it is scheduled yet.
Not yet. No, I'm about to start yelling at them. Actually, I'm gonna do that tonight.
Yeah, and I mean the semifinals aren't scheduled yet either, but we'll get to that. It'll happen.
It'll happen.
Um, let's talk about the home field picks. So I thought it was interesting. Disbarrel said, which I did. Who reads all the rules? I don't necessarily read all the rules when I start a
What
league,
the
but
hell?
I mean,
I'm just kidding.
I just have to win,
Yeah.
or I guess lose. But yeah, so he was like, "Oh God, the playoffs are first to
Yeah.
three wins,"
Mhm.
and so Dr. Picked map 23, which is Mercurial, which is I would say the map that is probably like the worst possible map that you would want to pick in a playoff match where you have to win 3 rounds. Like at least for
Yeah.
me, I would like. I don't even want to play it once. So I don't know. What do you think about Mercurial and how that fits into DR?
I mean, I love Mercurial. Mercurial is actually one of my favorite maps for sure. What I would say, and it kind of feeds into what you're saying as well, is everyone's good at that map. Like
Yes.
everyone's played it like a million times, and everyone knows exactly what to expect. I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if people played against the exact DR lineup in Prives, like just through happenstance, right? And
Yeah.
everyone's
Sure.
played against Vinny playing D there and stuff. So there's not much they're leaving to hide here with DR, but I think that just goes to show that they're confident. They don't really care. They're like, okay, fuck it, let's just play something we want to play. And yeah, I mean, I've seen in the past map choices where I've been like, why are they picking that? That's kind of dumb. But then they win it. So
Hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily a dumb choice. I think it's a bold choice, just because, like I said, everyone knows it. But it's a fun map. I don't see anyone really complaining about playing Mercurial. Uh,
No, it is. It is fun. It's
yeah,
just a grind.
timing, timing Soul
Grind.
Sphere. It's
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 always fun
it's
for me.
yeah, it's fraggy, which once again plays into TR's favor. They're a very fraggy team. Um, a little bit of a question as to what lineups can be played with DR. I know they're still having some scheduling issues. I think Sharp initially was going to be away for like 3 or 4 days, and now he's away for like 2 weeks. So
I hope he
we'll
didn't
see.
come to the U.S.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
Get
what
back home.
happens with in terms of who plays against DR. But like even as you and I saw Bones last week, if they're playing Shane, I don't think it's any great sweats to them. Like they're still gonna do great.
They're
They
going to do
do.
great. I
Yeah,
would be worried, like I guess a player of Sharp's caliber not being in a game. Like I'd still have,
I would still. Yeah, I'd have some concerns for sure.
yeah,
Like you
just a
do
few.
want Sharp being the runner he is in your lineup, guaranteed. But that might not be the situation. It just depends on how the scheduling goes, what SP is able to come up with, because it does inconvenience them as well. Like when a player is gone for so long, like you can only ask so much of the other team. Like
Right, exactly. Yeah, and the
so,
league.
yeah,
Like how long do you
exactly.
wait?
Yeah,
So
like
I know it's not malicious though. So
there's got to be some reasonable point where you got to be like, okay, no, we got to play this game.
yeah.
But we'll see what happens with that. In terms of SP, you got Lang and Sparrow on this map, as well as Marine. They're all kind of fraggy players. So I can see this one being close. I don't think either team is going to be disappointed playing map 23. But yeah, we'll see what they're able to pull out.
Well, there's map 23, which is DR's home field, and then we've got map 68, which is SP's home field.
That's right.
I gotta be honest, I don't know what that map is.
Let's
What is
let's have
map
a look. Let's
68?
have a look. So we have
I can
channel
remember
feed.
like 32, right? Like let's. I don't know. I can't count that high.
Map list. It is okay. So this is Jake's stupid. You're right base. So this was
I
if
actually know
anyone,
that map.
yeah, if anyone remembers all the way back to Redemption Season 1, Map 1. It was the
Hmm.
first map played in that one. It's kind of covered in snow, if I'm not mistaken, and it's got the huge trees in mid, and it's that window jump out of the bases. It's an interesting map. It's quite hard to play Dion. You really have to really have to trust the calls from your teammates or be able to actually push out of that window and make that window jump consistently if you're defending on that map. There is a blue armor to be timed in the center. Yeah, it's a difficult map for sure, and I imagine this would be picked because Sparrow is disgusting at running on that map. He's the kind of guy who's going to be doing those rocket jumps, those window jumps. Um, it does give quite a lot of space and time for the runners, like I said, because the defender has a difficult time pushing up. So
Mm,
I think that's going to play in SP's favor pretty heavily, depending on what they're able to pull together in terms of plays. But yeah, I quite like this map pick actually as the home field because it keeps players on their toes. Yeah, everyone knows it, but it doesn't get the prive play time that something like Mercurial does. So not
for
everyone's gonna be
sure.
super comfortable on this one. So I think
Yeah.
this is a textbook like good map choice.
I also like it as a matchup, like as a map that follows Mercurial because they're very different. So
Yes.
you get used to how the game is going, and then it switches over to a map that is completely different, and that's it's always fun to like test your ability to have that sort of like whiplash moment. But like I would say, as much as Disparal is crazy, right, on that map, I'd also be afraid of what Sharp can do there too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just think this matchup is going to be great in general. Like, it's got some really good like position for position sort of like matchups, right? Like, um, if you want to compare to Despair, we have seen Lang run throughout the season too, but like if you want to take Disparal and Sharp and compare them as let's say they're running, like those are two really good guys going against each other as runners, and then maybe Lang and Amar in the middle, like is going to produce some really good games. I don't know where I lead on this one. Like, I think generally speaking, I tend to lead towards the team that like has the higher seed because they get 2 rounds on their map. But then, like, I don't know. This map is like could be considered everyone's home field. Like you said, it's a map that everybody knows. So
Yeah.
um, I don't know. I think it's hard to make a prediction when we don't know who's going to show up for DR. I don't
Yeah.
know. If I had to pick, uh, I I
You got
think
it.
DR. I think DR is going to win,
You think DR
but
is gonna win?
I don't
Yeah.
know in how many rounds.
I'm
My
just yeah.
heart says SP because they're the 4th seed, and but my brain says that Amar has had a really good season with his team and manages to like just sort through any kind of issues that they're having if they have any, and I like DR in this one.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a couple of factors looking into this one. I think DR coming off a really strong win in week 4 against us. They're gonna have some confidence with this one. Um, I think my brain's definitely telling me like DR has this. Even I think with Chain, like if they play like they did last week, even with Chain, or I'm saying even with Chain as if Chain's like some nobody. Chain's disgusting at this game. So I think with Chain or with Sharp, whichever way it ends up being, I think in my head DR has this. I think they just have I don't know. They don't really have any weaknesses, man. Like they're Vinny's killing it this season. Vinny's just doing excellent on D. I think probably I think I'd even say the best season I've ever seen Vinny play. Like that guy's really I don't think he gets enough credit. He's really holding it together. He's been playing the defensive role for Amar, as Amar's played mid, which I think is really working out. And at the same time, SP's seen a little bit more challenges than DR has, but they're gonna put everything into this one. And if one thing is consistent with all these leagues that happen, is that Sparrow loves coming in second. And so if that is to happen again, he has to win this lineup, right? So, if the prophecy, if the curse is true, then SP has to win this week. But my brain is telling me DR has this one.
It's true. It's very true. And that was my role for a long time, Disparal. So don't worry. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to watch it because I think it's going to be a good game no matter what.
Yeah.
It's not going to be it's not going to be one of those blowout games. Like I think it's going to go back and forth, and it'll be a really good one. So what an awesome matchup. Um, Pretty lucky to see that. And then the other matchup is TR versus SWL. So going to ask for some help on the maps as well. So Tortoise Rush, they picked map 30.
So map 30 is closer, core 10. I believe that's the
Okay,
confirmed map.
I know that map.
That's a cool pick again because it's not super popular in terms
Yeah,
of
yeah,
being
yeah.
picked a lot. So another textbook good choice if they're comfortable with that. And then the other map, which I'm probably just cutting into because you're about to say it, map 73 by SWL, which let me refer back is Scary Flaggers and Nice Caps. So
Oh my god.
grindy.
I didn't know. Oh wait, scary. Maybe I'm thinking of a different map. What is that one?
Dude, I'm actually loading up the private server right now just because I need to
That's right.
confirm what I think it is.
Like
This is fantastic co-hosting right here where
no,
I'm
it's all good.
actually
Scary flaggers and bad caps, right?
Nice Caps.
Nice caps. Uh, okay, this is the map that I thought it was.
Is it the one with the lifts in the middle? The
The
lower?
lift in the middle. Okay, this is a really interesting map. For a second, I thought it was Scary Dark Fast, which was
Oh,
very small.
that'd be awful.
I was no, that would not be awful. That would be
It would be
amazing.
awful, dude. No,
That was my home field in Vengeance, the 2 week Vengeance. Did you play
terrible
that?
taste. Yeah, okay, it is the one. So it's the one essentially it's shaped like a U. It's got the huge boxes which you go up the stairs up and you can hold the flag up there. It's got the lift which takes like 10 seconds to lower. That connects the two bases or the massive mid. There you go. Oh, look at this. Now we're back to actually doing a good radio. Um, yeah, this is a grindy ass map, and it really revolves around those plays at the center with the lift and timing that
Yeah,
and sort of working that out with your teammates. I think this could be good for SWL. I think this is even though it's an annoying pick, it is kind of a good pick.
it's super interesting because like I literally have not seen this map get played in any sort of professional like serious setting in a long time. Like
Yeah,
I remember putting this out. Like okay, when I think 32 and 2412 came out. I don't know, a long time ago, really, and it was in the league. It was in the was it no, it was in the IDL WAD for a little while, and it got like 1 or 2 seasons of play, and then I felt like it just completely dropped off. Like it never carried over into the WDL. But then when you have like a WAD with 700 maps, I guess you got to put something in there. So it's really cool to see that this map because I think it has some cool play styles. Like I really enjoy timing the lift where you could lower the lift, run and grab the flag, and then get out. Like you can score in this map in like 3 seconds if you time it right and if you're
yeah.
coordinated enough as a team. So um, yeah, this is really cool. I think this is actually a really good pick for SWL because you can like I can see Ninja Dog just being a complete asshole at the lift, like just being a piece of shit and not letting anyone else get through and really
It's gonna
controlling that.
take it's gonna take
Yeah,
some really coordinated runs out of TR to actually get anything out on this map. This is a nightmare pick as a like to run against SWL really, and I think Legion and Chain or Shane, sorry, and Dragon as well. They've shown some really good cohesion as the season's progressed. They took that week 1 loss, but since then they've really kind of had it going. Even last week, even though they lost, it was super close.
Mhm.
So I think this yeah, like you're saying, is a really excellent pick. Actually, I think it really it really leans into their strong suits here. So I'm excited for this one, even though this will probably be, I mean, it's guaranteed to go 10 minutes unless something crazy happens. And it's very likely going to end up with a 0 cap score for at least one of the teams. So
I
might
think
be a
so.
little bit boring to watch this map, but I think it is a good pick.
And then you said the other map was called what?
Was good lord, closer, Cortan
Cortex.
by Infer, I believe.
I think I know, but I want to see if I can pull it up. Nope. I don't even know if it's on the Doom Wiki or not. Doesn't look like it. Um, It's okay. I think I know. So what is this map like?
Let me once
Is it
again confirm what I think it is.
is it the one with the lift in the middle with the
No, let me before I start just saying you're wrong. Let me double check. Uh, so load you bastard. Yeah, it's this is a kind of almost like a pub map, which you see a lot in pubs,
Mhm.
specifically on Z Damon. It's got, I mean, it's hard to explain. Kind of two raised sort of runways in mid, some rocks in the center, and then the flags themselves are kind of hard to get to. You have to go around these sets of steps in order to get to it. Uh, a little bit of a grindy map, but it is also
Mhm.
fairly easy for a runner to get out on this one. It's like I said, it's a good pick because it's not seen too often in Prive. Like
It's
you
two
know,
maps that are not played very often. This is going to be a
well,
really good game.
SWL's pick actually does get picked up a little bit.
Mm.
Like I'd say, once every like 30 games, that one might come up, but map 30 almost never. I think I've probably played it maybe like 5 times in Prive. Like it's
Mm.
super rare.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a good pick. It's nothing crazy going on with this one. There's not like any crazy tricks or oddities with this map. It is fairly grindy, but still not too hard to get out. It's a pretty balanced map in that sense.
Mm.
Visibility is definitely low. That is one factor. It's very hard to see out of your base and see both sides of mid. Lots of walls and rocks obscuring your vision. So yeah, I could see TR doing pretty good on this one. I still think it is going to be difficult to get out Ninja Dog. It is a little bit of a grindy map, but not crazy grindy. So yeah, not the kind of pick I'd expect, but I think it is a good one. I'm interested to see what TR can pull together on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think TR has their lineup, right? Like
They do,
I
yeah,
love Toby, but it seems like they've really gelled with Mertz in the lineup, and so I think TR knows what they're doing. I think SWL, there's still every week seemingly this sort of question about, is it going to be Dragon or is it going to be Legion? And I think they're going to run into that issue a little bit more for both of these maps. So like maybe Dragon plays one map, Legion plays another, or I just think it's a bit more of a question mark for them than it is for TR. And so TR was able to, we saw in week 4, able to come and figure out what SWL was doing, and um, no fault to Ninja Dog, because like in round 3 they go up 3-1 and they win. So like, why would you change what you're doing going into round 4?
right.
So it's going to be those kind of hard calls of, maybe SWL goes with one lineup, for rounds 1 and 2. If they can't win or whatever, do you then switch it up or do you keep going? Like that's the captains like can't sleep thinking about shit like that. Like
It
like
is
what do you
it is
do?
absolutely the worst, and I've had it this
Because
season as well. Yeah, it's
yeah, I
it's
mean, because like you could make a decision, and like you just never know. Like literally, you could think you're a genius because you made one decision and it worked, and then like you go to the exact opposite end of feeling like I'm a
yeah,
fucking moron because I did something or I didn't do something. So I guess all of that is just to say like it's I don't think they have it quite figured out yet, and that might hurt them.
mhm.
Um, Especially with like, I don't know, I haven't seen like a ton of practice going on this week so far, but yeah. So I don't know. Do you have like a thought?
Yeah. No, I think that is a major factor that you're talking about. It's the hardest thing as a captain, just calling up who's your lineup, because it leads to what if situations, like what if I did this, what if I did that. It also leads to, like, it's just hard to predict. Like Doom is in a sense just a really unpredictable game. Things can go really good or really poorly in literally like 10 seconds. You could lose 2 flags. Like,
Hmm.
so calling who you want to actually play, and like if something's going wrong, like if you can go into a map with a set plan, just be like, this is totally going to work, and then 2 seconds later it's like, okay, this didn't work. Now what the hell am I going to do? It's game time. I know with Ninja Dog, he's got a very busy schedule. He's also got European players on his team who are probably pretty hard to line up practices with. So he's not going to have a whole lot of practice afforded to him going into this. So he's going to have to make some sort of on the spot calls, which could make or break his season. So yeah, I really feel for SWL in that sense because they've got some pretty lofty decisions to make in terms of what's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen with this, which direction they want to take, and what the result of that's going to be. So TR perhaps a little bit more comfortable in that sense. Also, if you're a believer in the scores of the regular season, they are the favorites going into this one.
Yeah.
So, you know, I like upsets and all that, but just kind of like with what I was saying with DR, my head's just telling me TR is going to have this. I think it's going to be a DR versus TR, really original names, finals matchup. But like I said, I do really like upsets. I don't think it would be a huge upset to see SWL or in the previous matchup SP win this. Like I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Mm-hmm.
But just my head's telling me that TR kind of has this. They got that sort of oddball home field pick. I think SWL's home field pick's really gonna be what makes this into a hard matchup. Because yeah, I mean, getting flags out against SWL on that map in particular, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't know if I could do it. Like that's really it's a pretty gross lineup, even with Tiger and maybe Poto making runs. Like it's just such a grindy map to play against. I think TR is going to be a lot more comfortable in their own home field, but if they keep on tying against SWL on their home field, it's going to really draw it out. Never mind if SWL starts taking some rounds off them. So yeah, I could see this one being sort of a longer matchup. If I had to make any like really firm, bold predictions, I'm going to say SWL perhaps takes some ties on their own home field, but TR is going to win their home field. So I think it's not going to be like a 3-round just by season playoffs matchup, but I think it's probably going to be a 4 or 5 rounder in TR's favor.
I don't. When I look at it, for some reason, I just feel like SWL. I
Okay,
don't
I like
know
that.
why. Like, in especially in these these maps that were chosen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get the sense that SWL is going to figure it out, and especially on their home field, like I feel like that was actually a really good pick for them. And
Right.
like TR has to win. Like if you're going to win, I guess not really, right? Like they could win 2 on theirs. SWL could win 2 on theirs, and then they could go back to TR's home field. So theoretically, like they could win. They could win the game without having to win on SWL's home field. But
It is
I don't
possible.
know.
I could see that happening, but
Yeah, and I've seen it happen before. I don't know. Something
yeah,
tells me SWL is gonna come out and do
sometimes as
something.
well. I know what we were saying with TR. They've really got their lineup figured out. Sometimes that's a weakness. Like if it
Yes,
starts
because you
going
feel
bad,
like you're in a spot where you can't change anything.
yeah. And I feel like we kind of saw that with SWAT a little bit. But looking at TR, like sometimes, like let's say it goes really bad for them on their own home field. Like what are they gonna do? They could switch.
Right.
I think they're probably most likely to switch around Mers and Poto, but they don't
But
have
I
the
don't
same
think they
kind of.
put Toby in.
Probably not. I mean,
Probably
maybe they
not.
would. I'm not in Poto's shoes, so I couldn't tell you. But I think SWL perhaps has a little bit more flexibility in terms of they can really flip it on its head. He could
Yeah.
tell any of the other 3 players, Ninja Dog, like to just play a different position or sub in. Like whereas TR, they're a little bit more comfortable, they're a little more set, and I'd like to say generally that's a little bit more of an advantage, but sometimes it's not. So yeah, it could be a good upset.
Yeah, and I mean, I've done so many of these that like so many of these radios, and I've given out some ridiculous choices that are just completely fucking wrong. So
Yeah,
I have no authority. I'm just a person sitting here talking. So
no,
could
same here.
be that TR wins, and I would be very happy for that. You know, but I do know it's going to be a good game. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be like 3 rounds. I think it'll go for a little while, maybe even because you have to win 3.
It
I feel
could
like it could
be.
go to like 6 or
Yeah.
7 rounds.
I
So,
think. Oh God. No,
you know,
I think a 6 rounder could actually be a good call. Like if TR just can't pull anything out
mhm, mhm.
on SWO's home field, like they would have to go 6 rounds, assuming that TR is really comfortable on their own home field. But like you said as well, not too many practices so far, so there might be some upsets in terms of how comfortable guys are on their own home field. But
Sure,
we'll see how it goes. Maybe Friday Saturday will just be 8 hours straight of practicing.
maybe.
We'll
I
see
mean,
how it
as of
goes.
right now, no games are scheduled, so
No games
plenty
are
of time
scheduled. I'm gonna start
to
yelling at
practice.
people actually right after this radio,
Yeah, yeah,
putting the fire under their asses. But yeah, there's some difficulties between SP and DR. I know that for sure. But the other teams, no excuses, guys. Come on, let's go.
yeah. What's going
Outrageous. What the fuck?
on? But yeah, no, I think this is the best set of playoff matches I've seen in the league in a long time. So
Yeah,
I'm willing to wait. I know that does nobody cares if
not
I
allowed.
am or
No,
not, but I'm excited to watch these games. So it's a really fun like culmination of a regular season. So looking forward to it. Anything that you wanted to throw out there before we wrap it up?
no. I mean, I've kind of spieled everything I wanted to say recently, and in the past radios as well. I think with all 6 teams playing this week, including exhibition, it could go any way. We've got the finals coming up with exhibition, which is going to be exciting. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be a really good one, potentially match of the week, even out of the whole league. Uh, yeah, it's so close. If someone was drinking every time I said close, they'd be completely hammered, probably unconscious by now. But it is going to be some close games up ahead. I'd be very surprised if any of these semifinals rounds went in 3 rounds. I just
I
don't
don't
see it
think it will.
happening. I do
Yeah,
not see that happening. So yeah, I think it's going to be a long weekend of doom. I think it's going to be some real endurance matches coming up here. But
just what we needed.
I'm all for it. I'm excited to see it. I'm really rooting for. Honestly, I'm rooting for DR, and then I'm rooting for SWL in these matchups. Um, not to hurt anyone's feelings. I like everyone in this league,
Yeah.
but I'm rooting for DR because of how badly they beat us last week. It was awesome to see, and I want them to continue bringing that ass kicking into semifinals. And I'm rooting for SWL because I think they're kind of the underdogs against TR. I still think TR is gonna take it against SWL, but I'd like to see a little bit of an upset. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. It's been a good league, even though I'm out, and I'm excited to see this little last section of it.
Yeah, I can't decide. I've never been able to decide if it's better to see the team win that completely destroyed you, or if it's better to see them lose.
No, I like them
I
all.
don't. No, I like everybody. I don't actually have like a favorite team, so I'm just what I'm rooting for are good matches, and I know we're
Yeah,
gonna get those. So
that's fair.
yeah. Well, thank you again. I guess we will reconvene after the games get played, whenever
Yep.
that is. But just make sure everybody checks out the schedule channel and is aware of when the games are. But we will see you in a week or so ish time.
Hell yeah. Thanks for having me again.